Masculinity and femininity appear in religions not merely as biological or social categories, but as deeply symbolic forces that often reflect the universe, life, and human conduct. In many traditions, they are understood as complementary poles. One cannot exist without the other, and every manifestation of power, wisdom, or love is viewed through the lens of gender. In Hinduism, for example, there exists a rich spectrum of deities who unite masculine and feminine aspects or stand in dynamic tension with one another. Shiva and Shakti embody a cosmic interplay. Shiva represents consciousness, Shakti energy. Their union symbolizes that no action is possible without power and no being without awareness. Femininity here is not passive or subordinate. It is creative, transformative, and fully equal to the masculine principle. In Christianity, by contrast, clear role models emerged that were historically shaped by strong patriarchal structures. God is traditionally imagined as male, while the feminine is often represented through Mary as pure, nurturing, and devoted. Yet mystical traditions, such as those of the medieval Beguines or Christian women mystics, emphasize that closeness to God and spiritual authority can exist beyond biological gender. Femininity is thus shaped both as a moral force and as a spiritual ideal. Islam presents a similarly complex picture. According to traditional interpretations of scripture, men and women are assigned different but complementary duties and rights. Femininity is often associated with care, family, and moral integrity, while masculinity is linked to responsibility, protection, and public action. Modern interpretations and feminist theologies within Islam, however, demonstrate that these categories are not fixed, and that spiritual authority and piety are not bound to biological sex. In Buddhist teachings, gender is often regarded as an illusion. Being male or female is, in many texts, a temporary and worldly designation. The path to enlightenment leads beyond such dualisms. Nevertheless, historical and cultural imprints remain, monks as the male norm, nuns as the female exception. Symbolically, female figures such as Tara represent compassion and salvific power, while male figures often embody wisdom and discipline. Indigenous and shamanic religions also offer fascinating insights. Many cultures recognize more than two genders, and roles are distributed according to spiritual aptitude and social function. Masculinity and femininity do not appear here as rigid categories, but as flows of energy that are constantly in motion through rituals, dances, and myths. When these perspectives are brought together, it becomes evident that religions often understand masculinity and femininity as symbolic axes of existence. They structure the cosmos, convey social norms, and shape moral and spiritual ideals. At the same time, they reveal that these categories are mutable and interpreted differently across eras, cultures, and teachings. This becomes particularly intriguing when individuals who are biologically male exhibit pronounced femininity, or vice versa. The spiritual interpretation of such phenomena shows that religious traditions at times challenge the purity of role models, thereby opening space for more fluid concepts of identity and spiritual expression. In sum, it becomes clear that masculinity and femininity in religions never exist merely as biological facts, but as complex symbols reflecting the relationship between human beings, the divine, and the world, and that each religion, in its practice and doctrine, subtly expresses the tension between power, care, energy, and consciousness.